Egypt's stability and economic development, adding that the fight against terrorism will remain the bloc's priority and that it stands by Egypt in the face of multiple challenges. For his part, UK Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond strongly condemned the terrorist attacks against Egyptian security forces, expressing his country's solidarity with the Egyptian government and people. The United States expressed condoling sentiments and several other countries condemned the aggression. These developments came as thousands of warriors attended the funerals of Egyptian soldiers who were killed in the coordinated militant attacks. Egyptian television stations showed thousands of people marching in funeral processions in the Nile Delta governorates of Gharbiya and Kafr Sheikh and the canal city of Suez. Local media reported similar turnout on other governorates across Egypt. The Minister of Interior Mohammed Ibrahim, Prime Minister Ibrahim Mahlab and Minister of Defense Sidqi Subhi had received the bodies of the victims at a military airport in Cairo after they were flown from Arish in cascades draped in the Egyptian flag.
Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Wahab, if I come back to you, obviously before this attack took place there was an security operation. There was a curfew in northern Sinai. There was also the demolition of houses by the Rafah border to create a buffer zone. Why wasn't that enough?
The operation didn't finish yet and all the results have not been achieved. And if we're talking about the evacuation of this area, it was the assumption was to evacuate around 500 meters in depth, but apparently the troops, when they were working, they discovered that there are tunnels with the length of 1.5 sounding meters, which is 1.5 kilometers. So it's triple the size that was going to be evacuated. So they extended now the space of evacuation to 1 kilometer. And at the same time, the troops were now working and they're very careful about human rights and to try to be very cautious about innocent people and try not to harm any of these civilians, innocent civilians. So that's why things are taking easy. But the terrorists are taking advantage out of this by first threatening the innocent people not to give information to the police and army. And when they notice or they have doubts about someone who deliver information to the police to help the police or the army to be able to arrest the terrorists, they kill them and they declare that they killed them because of their cooperation with the government and with the police. But again, it's something, as the president said today, it's going to take time. It's not going to be a one-day thing. And we have to be supportive to what's going on, especially when we know what are the targets over what the doctor has just mentioned about the countries that try to work against Egypt and this conspiracy thing. Their target is to ban Egypt from achieving their deliverables or their scope. And one of the things that we were very focused on is the economic forum that was going to be done in March. Other than the development, the security, social standards. So all of this needs financing and emotional support to the president and to the government at that stage. What the terrorists are asking for, or what they are targeting, is to first block us from achieving any economic successes, and at the same time to disturb our confidence in ourselves. And that's why they're trying to aim big and they're trying to achieve hard targets.
But one wonders how these terrorists are able to easily move around in the area, one, and two, obviously, where they're being funded and where are they receiving these heavy weapons?
Exactly. This is a very good question, and it's not something that happened today. If we look into the past, before the 2011 revolution, there were terrorist attacks that happened in Sinai especially, and we remember 2004, 2006, 2007, there were several terrorist attacks happening there, which means that there are terrorist groups that were there, that there were weapons that were there. This is one. Second, when the MPs took on the power in Egypt, Dr. Morsi, while being the president, he released by a presidential declaration 800 terrorists who were accused of being did terrorist attacks, and they have verdicts either to death or life for sentence in prison. He released them with the presidential declaration. And these guys part of them moved into that area. Third is Hamas and the amount of weapons that they have imported into Egypt, plus the weapons that have come into our country from the Libyan borders. All of this together through the last 3-4 years made what we're facing now. So it's something that have been built up over years, and that's why it's very challenging to get rid of it in one day. Second, the atmosphere there and the demography there, it's very challenging. And they know Sinai is mountains, hard mountains, and they're not easy. Sometimes there are very challenging areas that you can't go into unless if you have one of the Bedouins can lead you into that area. All of this is happening in a very challenging time where Egypt is still fighting from inside for stability and for setting up the mood for people to work, and we're fighting our economic problems. Having said all of this, you can also put into the equation when you look into the European community, and sometimes they ban us from receiving weapons and they ban us from intelligence. You remember when Egypt was asking the United States for the Apache, and that took like nearly a year till we received the Apaches. All of these together are making a big thing that is not easy to fight. This doesn't mean that it's impossible. It's a hard mission. The president and all the government are saying that this is a tough mission, but we're up to it and we can do.
Okay. Let me ask you, Dr. Salah, obviously the Sinai-based Ansar Meeting Maqdis, which has called itself Relates Sina, has claimed responsibility for Thursday's attack. Has the group become stronger after it pledged allegiance to Daesh? And again, another thing that people are wondering, are they just foreign fighters or do they also involve locals?
Well, I don't want to give importance to the name who says that he is responsible for this or that. You know, because anything give themselves the name they like. It is a group of terrorists, either some from outside and some from inside. By a way or another, they enter Sinai. I return back with you to year 82. The Israelis were attacking West Beirut. I went there through Cyprus to West Beirut to be with the Palestinians. And I work as a surgeon in a hospital under the ground, 4 stairs under the ground. What I'm afraid from, that during the 30 days of the former President Mubarak and during the days of the former President Morsi, some buildings like that may be in Sinai, under the ground, you know, and they can stay inside and live, and they have complete life. It was complete life under the ground. So, by way or another, they find shelters. They can attack any time. You know, this kind of terrorist attacks, it happens suddenly. Suddenly, whatever you are making guarantees, you can't stop it. The difference between us and Israel, let us say, that when something like happened towards Israel, Israel is attacking the Palestinians. But you can't attack, if you even feel that some Palestinian share, you can't attack your brothers. And even if you have people here from inside in Egypt, you can't attack our people inside, even if some of them, you know, was sharing in that. You are limited in your movement, okay? But this will need a super work from us to look to under the ground, because not only the tunnels which is coming from Gaza is the only problem. My thinking is there is another problem, that they find shelters inside Sinai through that years, because it was a long years, and possibly many foreigners are living there, and that country pays them a lot of money. You know, it is all a matter of money.
Well, how did you see the fact that an Egyptian court has blacklisted Hamas's armed wing, the Yazidin Qassam brigades? What does that mean for the war on terrorism?
It is a psychological effect, not a practical effect, because what I want to say is that we have doubts about what happened from Hamas Okay, but you are not sure that this organization especially is working against us. This is number one. And number two, it is working against Israel because of their own lands. You know, I don't want to say anything about what the court to do, but I think it is a psychological, not practical. It will not have practical effect. It is a psychological.
Do you agree, Dr. Ihab? It's just a psychological, it will not have a practical effect on the war on terror?
This is I think it's challenging to find out now, but we have a lot of youth who have mixed feelings and their minds are not well set now. And I think that we have as a country to work on getting our people back to us. There are people who are against, and these guys we can't care about. We have to fight them and we have to face them. And we have supporters, as the doctor was saying in the past, and whoever who believes what you're doing, he will continue believing in you. But these people who are sitting on the gray area is the role of respected people like yourself in the media, education, politicians. They have to work hard on getting these people to us. And having said this is not coming as by coincidence. Everything that's happening to our region was well planned of, and we remember very carefully what Condoleezza Rice said in the late 2000s before, and she talked about the creative chaos, and I think this is what's happening in our region now. It's a chaos, whether it's going to be creative or not, but it's a chaos.
Let me just finally ask you, because I'm running out of time, how important is unity and support by the Egyptian people for the Egyptian army at this present time?
This is a very unique question, and I think it needs a big time, but to cut it very short, I think the other's objective is to destroy our unity, and that's why we have to maintain being united as much as possible behind our leaders, behind our army and police, and this is why we have to, from my point of view, we have to recognize everything they are doing, and we have to continue providing them with efforts and with information as much as possible.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ihab Youssef, Secretary General of the People and Police for Egypt. Thank you very much. And Dr. Salah Abdullah, Political Analyst, thank you very much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, adapting that to tonight's edition of the Daily Debate. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.